And within 2 years, I went actually from not being able to speak English properly to having events for 250, 300 people and standing on the stage and being rated as one of the best speakers that I attend any events. Hey, this is Iman Aghay, international public speaker, best-selling author, and serial entrepreneur. And today I want to answer one of the questions that I got on Facebook from Jackie. Jackie asked, when it comes to public speaking, if I've never spoken before, where do I start? And that's a phenomenal question. As you guys know, I started my public speaking absolutely from scratch. When I was 25 years old, I immigrated to Canada. I couldn't even speak English properly. And that was actually where I got started, where I started my public speaking career in English, right? Before I was public speaking, but I was public speaking in Farsi, in Iran, and kind of very, very different sets of stages and stuff like that. And then I moved to Canada and started like kind of public speaking here and became an international professional public speaker, traveling the world and doing public speaking in different countries. Now, one of the questions that Jackie asked, and a great question, I get asked this question kind of on a regular basis, is like, how do you start, right? How do you start? And one of the greatest thing about that is I want you to make a list for yourself of your weaknesses. What are the things that you are actually not strong when it comes to public speaking, right? If you have a list of things that you are not strong at, when you have a list of weaknesses, then you know exactly what you should improve. When I got started, my first weakness was not being able to speak English. So, I mean, like, that would be a little bit challenging not to be able to speak the language that you need to speak. So then the next one was my hearing skills. One of my biggest fears for the first 3 years of my public speaking career was that if people stand in front of me asking me a question, what if I don't understand their question? I remember this day that was standing in the audience, and one of the audience members went to the microphone and asked a question from one of the speakers. And I did not understand the single word that audience asked the speaker. I was thinking about it. It was like, if I was the speaker, I had no idea how to answer this person. And that speaker actually understood what he said and answered him. And I was like, holy crap, like, I'm not ready for speaking on the stage. Not because I'm not ready for what I want to say, but I'm not ready to hear the questions that audience are going to ask me, right? So that was the next one. The other thing that I was not strong at was impromptu speaking. You know, some of you guys might not actually realize this, but many of these videos that I'm doing right now for you guys, I actually do it impromptu. So literally, I actually sit here in front of camera, I go on Facebook, I read the questions that people ask me, and literally answer them right away without preparation, without like writing like my scripts, without anything, right? Just kind of it's a matter of like right away being able to do impromptu speaking. But when I got started, I had absolutely zero power of doing impromptu speaking. I had to prepare for months to be able to do a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute video that had quality content. So that was another one. Like, I needed to learn how to do impromptu speaking. I had a thick accent. I still have an accent, but it's not a thick accent. People understand what I say. Still, like, had lots of other issues, right? So I wrote all the things that I had weaknesses in, and I said, what if I start from one piece of it at a time? So I couldn't speak English properly. I would start going to English classes, right? And I chose an English speaking class that was not academic, but it was a daily speaking English class, right? So every day I was going there. The person had their own books, and I actually would follow their books. A lot of people ask me actually about this place that I went to. They're like, well, Iman, where did you go? This is a very small local place in North Vancouver. So unfortunately, they don't have any online courses and stuff, which is sad. Well, I'm the world leader in online course creation in the world, and yet some of the people that I can help, they don't have online courses. So, I mean, that's sad, right? If you have a knowledge, and you don't have an online course, you should build an online course, by the way, okay? I'm just saying that. You can make a huge impact. But anyhow, unfortunately, this person doesn't have an online courses. So unless if you live in North Vancouver in BC, British Columbia in Canada, you won't be able to go to the class of this person, but you can find other places, right? But anyhow, so that was like one piece, right? Like learning English and being able to speak English properly. And then after that, I started going to Toastmasters Club. And you know, I have my public speaking classes, I teach public speaking, and I train some of the world's best public speakers. However, every single day I tell every single one of my students, you need to go to Toastmasters Club. The reason for Toastmasters Club is not to learn like all the advanced public speaking and stuff. They don't have lots of advanced public speaking, like world-class public speaking techniques and stuff like that. They're not specifically designed for becoming an international world-class speaker. Some people become international world-class speakers by using Toastmaster, but definitely it's not designed for teaching you how to build a public speaking business, which is a different thing, right? That's what I teach. I teach people how to build a public speaking business, right? But I always tell people, go to Toastmasters to learn how to become a public speaker, to improve your public speaking skills. But having the public speaking skills is very different than building a public speaking business. There are two very different skills, right? So anyhow, going to Toastmasters allow you to learn some of the basics of public speaking and gives you weekly opportunity to do impromptu speaking and gives you weekly opportunity to do prepared speeches, right? So that was the two things I actually needed to learn. Needed to learn how to actually put together my speeches, but more importantly, needed to learn how to do impromptu speaking. So when I went to Toastmasters Club, I started doing that. One of the things I needed to improve was my listening skills, right? So when I was going to my Toastmasters Club, I actually decided to become evaluator, right? So evaluator of other people's speeches, because now I had to listen carefully. I had to understand what they are saying, and I had to prepare a talk within a very short few minutes and do an impromptu feedback on them. The best thing I did in my public speaking to learn how to actually become a great public speaker, impromptu speaking, and like being able to do to improve my listening skills was becoming an evaluator, attending a Toastmaster Club, right? So that was actually the greatest thing. So that allowed me to gain the public speaking skills and then getting myself on the stage on a regular basis. So in fact, I started doing public speaking publicly when I still couldn't speak English properly. When I still didn't know about like the structure and still had thick accent and still had all of that, yet I started getting stage time from people, and I started like in front of 70 people, 20 people, 30 people. It was really hard. It was really dangerous. It was like, not dangerous, but it was really like, scary. It was scary to stand in front of 77 people when you can barely speak English and still delivering a talk. But yet, I did that. I did every single one of those things. So I finally improved my speaking skills. I finally improved my stage presence. I finally improved the way that I was building my public speaking business. And within 2 years, I went actually from not being able to speak English properly to having events for 250, 300 people and standing on the stage and being rated as one of the best speakers that I attend any events, right? But the whole thing was like constant, every single week work. And that's actually another video I talk about the discipline, right? It's like the biggest thing that you can have to help you improve your business and grow is having discipline to do things. And that was one of the things. Like I never skipped my Toastmasters Club. Never skipped my Toastmasters Club. Every week showed up, did 2 or 3 types of things. Never skipped doing a public event at least once a month, right? I contacted people, 5 people a day, every single day to find the stage time. And I heard no after no after no after no, but would contact so many people that 1 out of 100 people would say yes to me, that would have 1 stage time a week, right? Because I would contact 100 people a month to get stage time. It was brutal, but the result of it was I built a successful public speaking business. Now, many of you guys that want to build a public speaking business, you may not have as many challenges that I had, right? You can speak English, you have good content, you may know the structure, lots of other things. So you may not go through all the problems that I went, but regardless, even if you had the situation that I had, within a couple of years, you can have a very successful public speaking business, okay? So you can actually go to my blog on imanagawy.com and you can actually get my ebook on public speaking and get the training that we have there on public speaking, how to build a public speaking business. That will help you a lot. You can find the link below this video. And that would actually help you a lot with building a public speaking business. So that's this for like what I would do, like what you need to do if you're starting from scratch. Make a list of all of your weaknesses, create a step-by-step plan on how to overcome those weaknesses, and take it from there. Start tackling them one by one, and then by the end of the year, by the end of 2 years, you have actually fixed all of those weaknesses. Okay? Looking forward to seeing you in one of my other videos.